the top 10 three-point shooters of all time. Some say it has destroyed basketball. Others say it's the best addition the NBA has ever implemented. But what is clear is that to this day, the three-pointer is one of the most iconic features of basketball. The best shooters in the league go down in NBA history as legends capable of scoring from any position on the court. Welcome to Eternity Hoops. Today, we're going to rank the best three-point shooters in NBA history. We start at number 10, and we already find a legend of the level of Kevin Durant. The Slim Reaper has been one of the most unstoppable scorers in the NBA throughout his career, and his consistency has been unmatched. Many fans think he's an even better scorer than LeBron James, and there's every reason to believe it. Durant can score from any position, but outside his shooting, he is one of the biggest threats in the league. After catch and shoot or after dribbling, his options are virtually limitless. At number 9, we find a player who is already retired and is actually carving out a great career as a TV analyst. Redick managed to stay in the league for 15 seasons and managed to finish his career with an extraordinary 41.5% mark in three-pointers. Redick led the NBA in percentage in the 2015-2016 season, with a spectacular 47.5% on three-pointers made on 5+ attempts per game. The shooting guard was a magnet for defenders who had to follow him wherever he went. And this gravity was a perfect complement to the star players that have accompanied him, who could take advantage of his strengths. And at number 8, we find another player who has recently retired. Vince Carter is a world-renowned player known for his plasticity to pull off the best dunks we've ever seen. But a very underrated aspect of his game was his ability to score from the three-point range. Carter is one of only 7 players in history to have made at least 2,290 three-pointers and has 4 seasons over 40%. Although his final career percentage has been just over 37%, the difficulty of his shots was much higher than, well, let's say JJ Redick's. At number 7, we have another pure shooter, and this player was able to be an all-star once during his career while averaging just over 12 points per game. As some of you may have guessed, this is Kyle Korver, who played part of his career with the Atlanta Hawks, was one of the most lethal shooters we've ever seen. Korver led the NBA in three-point percentage 4 times during his career, even making an absurd 53.6% from the line during the 2009-2010 season. His outside shooting ability allowed him to play in the NBA for 17 seasons, even considering the player came into the league at the tender age of 22. Finally, we find an active player at number 6. In fact, I'm sure several of you are going to think this player deserves to be higher on the list. However, Damian Lillard still has time to increase his NBA records. The Portland Trail Blazers point guard, who could be traded at any time to Miami, is coming off of averaging 32.2 points in the 2022-2023 season. And while the point guard has only had 1 season above 40% from the three-point range during his career, the difficulty of his shots is simply, well, check this out. At number 5, we have the oldest player on the list, who played in the NBA mostly during the 1990s. At the time, Reggie Miller was the all-time leader in NBA history in three-pointers made. The player managed to become a legend for the Indiana Pacers, where he had a huge rivalry with the Knicks of Patrick Ewing and John Starks. Reggie Miller made 40% of his three-pointers in 10 of the 18 seasons he played in the NBA, an almost insurmountable mark, and only within reach of a select few. His defiant attitude, coupled with his ability to shatter games from the three-line, have made him a league icon who, like JJ Redick, has had a great career in the media following his retirement. Our player at number 4 on the list, like Damian Lillard, has an uncertain future. James Harden has asked for a trade from Philadelphia to try to go on the Los Angeles Clippers, where he would be reunited with Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Russell Westbrook. The Beard has not been the most efficient player from the three-line during his career, but because he literally shoots impossible shots. After patenting the step back, Harden has tried to innovate a lot of moves that have been imitated by many players in the league. With part of his career still ahead of him, Harden may climb even some more spots in this ranking. We enter the top 3 with a player who is also retired. He was the NBA's all-time leading three-point shooter, surpassing Reggie Miller at the time, and held this mark until, well, very, very recently. As many of you know, this is Ray Allen. The shooting guard was able to reconvert his game from a league all-star to a role player who was key during the Miami Heat dynasty. Allen managed to go over 40% on three-pointers for 8 seasons of his career, raising his career average to exactly that, 40%. But as we said, the player was not just a shooter. Ray managed to average 26.4 points per game in the 2006-2007 season, just before he went to the Boston Celtics to win his first ring. We've talked about how many seasons above 40% in three-pointers some of these players on the list have made. But in the case of Klay Thompson, number 2, it's easier to count the times he didn't make it. Of his 10 seasons in the NBA, Klay has made less than 40% three-pointers in only one season. And that was right after the injuries that sidelined him for 2 years. Thompson has shot threes at a high volume throughout his career, with a consistency and regularity that would scare anyone. With a career mark of 41.6% on 7+ attempts per game, there's no choice but to put him second on this list. And how could it be otherwise? Number 1 on our list of best shooters in NBA history goes to Klay's backcourt partner on the Warriors. Stephen Curry has the throne of this aspect of the game, and there is no one who can dispute his superiority. Steph has only had 2 seasons below 40% in three-pointers, and one of them is the season in which he only played 5 games due to injury. Basically, Curry has the highest volume of three-pointers made per minute in league history, with a difficulty per shot that often borders on the absurd. And at 33 years old, the point guard became the all-time leading three-point scorer in NBA history. The evolution of basketball has made the three-pointer one of the most important aspects of the game. Shooting 33% on three-pointers, which is a below-average percentage, is exactly the same efficiency as shooting 50% on twos. So generally, the more three-pointers a team shoots, the more likely they are to win. But what changes would you make to the ranking? If you enjoy NBA content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.